So if you watched my show in the past, you know I'm not really a big fan of packaging. But this, NECA just knocked it out. I mean, this is how you do packaging, people. Check this out. This Freddy figure comes in a very large box with the artwork on the front from the original Nightmare on Elm Street poster. On the back of the box are some photos from the figure and some text telling you who Freddy is. So the front of the box actually opens and is held together by Velcro. Inside the flap of the box is another really cool picture of the figure. And then we have the figure himself really nicely displayed. And the going rate for this figure is $24, which is just a phenomenal price for all of this. So let's open up Freddy and see if NECA did it again. Before I show you the new Freddy, I figured I would show you a couple of old Freddy figures I have. This is actually the very first Todd McFarlane Freddy that came out. And as you can see, it doesn't really look like Freddy from any of the films. It's just a burnt guy wearing a hat. Then I got this Freddy, which is actually a pretty cool sculpt from the new Nightmare film, where they try to end up going back to the original makeup, sort of. Then not too long ago, I actually got the non-makeup version of Robert Englund. So this is the brand new figure that came out in 2014. In the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy had a very distinctive look. He was very burnt, the wounds were deep into his face, and he was always, I still think, the creepiest looking Freddy from all the movies. And this sculpt has nailed it. I mean, with some figures you take a look at them and you're like, okay, well, who's this supposed to be? But with this, there is absolutely no doubt that this is Freddy Krueger from the original Nightmare on Elm Street. You can just check out all the incredible detail that has gone into his face. Now, Freddy wouldn't be Freddy, of course, without his red and green sweater. I absolutely love what NECA did with his sweater. It's not actually even molded to his chest. It sticks out. So it's very rubbery. So it's not like glued or it's not sculpted into the form. It's actually hanging over his form. And that is just awesome. And just check out the incredible folds of the fabric in his back. And even more iconic than the burnt face and the sweater is, of course, Freddy's glove. The blades were a little bent in the package, and they're a little rubbery. They're not exactly hard, but you can bend them back into place, and everything is fine. And as you can see, every rivet is in place. I absolutely love his stance as well. He's basically leaning to one side, kind of like how he stood in the first film. One strange thing about Freddy, though, is his joints are kind of loose in his arms and his elbows. He's not as stiff as some of these other figures I bought. But, you know, that's okay. His leg here is a little loose too, but I don't have any problems with him standing. So as with extras, let's take a look at his fedora first. It's very rubbery, which I like a lot. It's not stiff, like some of the other fedoras that have come with the Freddy figures. As you can see, it's very well detailed, just like the figure, and I absolutely love it. Because of the rubbery texture of the hat, it fits perfectly on his head, unlike some of the other figures. And it just is great. It's a perfect fit for a hat. And he looks amazing in it. As drop-jawed gorgeous as the first face sculpt is, Freddy actually comes with a second head, and this sculpt is even better, I think. Just check out that evil grin on his face. And his teeth. It's just incredible looking. But wait, we have another one. Of course, Nightmare fans would absolutely recognize what this is when Nancy has one of her very first dreams. He attacks her, and in the dream, she grabs hold of his face, and it just rips off, and there's a skull underneath of it. And it was so awesome that NECA added this to the collection of extras. You want to see how great the sculpt is? Check out the tongue. And next, we have the face of Tina. And again, Nightmare fans would also know exactly what this is when Freddy, again in a dream, comes up to Nancy and he has his face mask on and he pulls it off. So just great extras here, some of the best I've ever seen. But we don't even stop there. Here is an extra hand of Freddy's, again from the beginning of the film, where he cuts his own fingers off and they spew green blood. And the last amazing extra we got from NECA is the phone towards the end of the film that she pulls the plug out of, which you can see here, and she actually wraps the cord around the phone, which they have recreated here in the sculpt. And when she's talking on the phone, Freddy's tongue comes out of the bottom of the receiver. Once again, sculpted to perfection. So here's Freddy with his grinning face. And one small complaint is it's really difficult to pull these heads off and replace them. I'm afraid I'm going to break the neck. So here he is with his extra hand as well, and that was actually a lot easier to take off. With the amazing, and I mean amazing amount of accessories that came with him, and every sculpt on the accessories, including the 2 extra heads, the phone, the hand, the mask, everything, the hat fits perfectly on Freddy. All of it gets a 5 out of 5. So if you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan like I am, this is an absolute zero no-brainer to pick this up. NECA did an outstanding job with this figure, and this is definitely one for your collection.